lot of stuff about girl gamers lately online, and kind of like fights and like some really condescending remarks from the more hardcore people, and like I got involved in a fracas that I don't want to talk about on a certain, you know, hardcore site, and like I've found that entering that discussion and trying to be like self-righteous about it and preachy about it doesn't convince anybody that things need to change. My whole theory about girl gamers and girl geeks in general is that if you lead by example and just become the geek that you want to be as a woman and just exist, you're leading by example and you're breaking the stereotypes by doing it by example versus by preaching. And I think that that's a lot more effective because we're all just people. So that's what I would encourage people to do. And of course, if somebody does something really offensive, you call them out. Like, I personally find that offensive. But like, I just think the whole theoretical talking about it is not as effective as just doing your own thing, and just that will open the path for other geeks to come. What did you tweet?
I don't know what you're talking about. Catwoman. I was trying to decide if it was going to be Catwoman or Silk Spectre, and I ended up choosing Catwoman. But I actually have a thing to say to guys who play video games. Like, when a woman joins the game, like, don't be a dick. I recently saw an XKCD about this. Like, this is gonna be one of those things, right? Where it's like, I have an existential dilemma. Oh, there's an XKCD about that. This thing happens to me and all my nerd friends. There's an XKCD about that. The idea that you know, like, I don't care how old you are. Dudes have to stop acting like they're 12 years old when they game with women. And it's something that, like, we in the gamer community sort of try to pretend doesn't exist. And dudes like come up with like, so, oh, we're just joking and that sort of thing. And the thing is, like, it sucks. And it really can be just combated by committing to not being a dick when you play a game.
I would have said that, but I don't want to preach.
Okay.
No, I liked what you said. It would have just nullified my whole argument. So you did your thing, I did my thing. It kind of works together.
Okay, we'll talk about it in the car.
Don't punch me.
Alright, so we solved that problem.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to answer? I don't really have an
let's
answer. I don't have a comment.
What about Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern?
Okay,
No, how about the real Green Lantern? Sorry, reflexive nerd response, my bad, I apologize.
What they need to do is they need to go and get a Glee comic where Corey, what's his face?
Corey Monteith is like my celebrity crush.
I hate it when you do this. You always do about Corey.
I love him. But Ryan Reynolds is good too because he's Canadian and Corey's Canadian, so I love Canadians. So that's my answer. Why are you shaking your head?
I don't have time to explain to you what I'm shaking.
I'm offended.
I'm going to counter this out by, Ryan Reynolds would be mine. Let's go over here.
This question's for Will. The utility kilt you wore in...
It was actually a sport kilt, is what I wore. I wear a utility kilt in my private life, but Fox wears a sport kilt.
Just want to get your take on being a utilitarian. But
I actually love wearing a kilt. I wear my kilt as often as I can. I wear them to formal events. I usually wear them to cons. I just didn't bring it to this particular con because I'm only here for a day and a half, and they're heavy, and I didn't have room in my bag. My wife is super not down with me wearing the kilt, and is one of those things where she really just tolerates it. But she doesn't suffer in silence like a 1950s housewife. She's more of like a 1970s empowered wife, and just walks behind me pointing out that, oh, my husband is the one wearing the skirt. But I love them. I think they're great.
thanks.
Let's go over here.
Hi, I was wondering what's the experience like on set for you guys?
I feed people a lot of food.
Yeah,
I have
this
a
is true.
problem. I have a real problem with it. On Dragon Age, Kim and I, my producer, thank you, excited about that. We ordered a coffee truck every day,
And thanks for doing that on the Guild.
we had.
Wow.
Well, but that was so many more favors. I don't want to talk about it. I'll get you a latte every morning. We get you
Yeah,
lattes.
Dragon Age is the
She bought me
Guild's
a
Deep
latte
Space
today.
Nine.
Fine, whatever.
What'd you say?
I said that Dragon Age is the Guild's Deep Space Nine. When Deep Space Nine started up, suddenly the Next Generation budget for everything just was gone. We're like, what? I hate the new baby.
I agree.
Anyway, we have a good time. We do. It's
Well,
shocking.
they do. I don't.
You don't have a good time?
I mean, obviously, we don't get coffee.
I always
Nobody else
actually
does.
send somebody out to get you a latte in the morning. Do you not remember that? Or are you just...
Amy's usually drunk in the mornings.
No.
I can't tell you how many times I
I
had
am
to
not
put
the
her
drinker
together.
of the Guild.
No, she's not a drinker.
I am not the drinker.
I can tell you something that's really great about working on the Guild that really sets it apart from a lot of the other things that we do. We had when we shot the episode of The Date That's Not a Date, when we were upstairs in room
Oh, yeah,
5, we were rehearsing the bulk of the thing, and something just didn't feel right. And there were a couple of lines that we both really liked, but it just wasn't working. And one of the wonderful things about the Guild is that we don't have a network to answer to. We don't have a huge chain of producers that we have to go through to get changes approved. And we just sat there as actors and writers, and we worked on this. And then we asked Sean to come in and look at the changes that we had that we thought would work. We asked Kim to look at the changes that we thought would work, and we ended up making the scene tighter. We ended up making the relationship more clear, and it was more fun for the two of us to do this. And one of the great advantages of a show like this is that it's just us. And we're really lucky to work with incredibly talented, incredibly focused, dedicated people working really hard for nothing just to make a great show. And we were able to pull all of this together in maybe 45 minutes, I think?
Yeah. No, I'm never like satisfied if something's not working as a writer. I mean, I do it on everything, you know. At the end of the day, the buck stops here. So other than, you know, as opposed to the things that I do that are not, you know, me creating it and producing it and writing it, you know, I do have the responsibility to at least make it as good as I personally can make it. And then I know that I did everything I could, because honestly, making a film is very, very difficult. Like, even on the Guild, there's like upwards to 100 people working on every episode if you add everybody up in pre-production and post-production and production. So, you know, just coordinating that many people, so many elements, so many things can go wrong every single day, and that's why things sometimes don't turn out as well as you think they would. And the cool thing about the Guild is that everybody's in it to make it as great as possible, and we don't have somebody giving us notes that aren't maybe for the best benefit of the show. So at the end, the buck stops here. So if you don't like a line, I liked it. So.
And Jeff Lewis is one of the funniest people on the planet.
Yes.
And getting to work in scenes with him is really, it's a gift. Because he is constantly coming up with new stuff. And it's really, really fun to work with.
How often does that sort of, when you're talking about like doing this on-spot rewriting and kind of figuring stuff out as you go, how often does that sort of stuff and ad-libbing happen on set when you're shooting?
I mean, not often. Like we did a little bit more of it for the Fox Codex relationships because it was a little like I said Cox. Yes, I did. I heard the giggles.
Nice 12-year-old giggle.
Yeah. And so that was a little bit. That was a little harder to. I did change that a lot just as we worked together with the actors to humanize him and make it believable, and it really was a nice process. But for the rest of it, I would say that 90% of the time it's completely scripted, and then especially Sandeep and Jeff will come in and you know, add some really funny lines and punch up and do some alt stuff. So.
I think we're in the middle now.
First of all, Felicia, I love your hair. And Amy's cardigan, awesome.
Oh, thank you.
But so first I want to thank you guys.
Dude. Right here.
Nothing.
All of it is divine.
Wow.
But I want to thank you guys.
Big mistake, man.
See,
I want to thank you guys
C-.
for creating like a strong, young Asian American female character without tokenizing or stereotyping. Ooh, gonna knock this mic over. But I was wondering, Amy, like as an Asian American woman trying out in the film industry and working really hard, are there any specific challenges that you have to face that you think other actresses of other racial demographics don't have to? And at the same time, are there any like cultural values or things that, you know, about being an Asian American that you think help you? Heavy question for coming from.
There's less of us. I'm not a blonde white girl, and there's a lot of them in the industry, I feel like. So I feel like when they specifically want an Asian girl, I feel like I have, you know, pretty good chance because, you know, there's a lot more than you think, but you know, there's a few of us. I'm very specific, so I think that's a good thing. I don't want to be like everybody else, so I think it's good to be a little Asian girl. I don't know.
What about the roles that you auditioned for? Like,
well, you know, I haven't really had like very stereotypical things that like made me roll my eyes or anything, but sometimes there's the description on the breakdown would be like, Asian or Pacific Islander or something. There was literally a description.
Hey, I'm something. I'm totally going in on
There was literally
that.
a description that said Asian, Pacific Islander or something.
Just whatever.
Wow, I was like, that was the one time where I was like, wow, this is retarded. But you know, other than that, I like being different and I like being a very specific type of girl, so it's good. And I think there's a lot more Asians coming out in this world, so hopefully that's a good thing for me. The end. Okay.
Hi. I have two questions, one gaming, one acting. Gaming question is mostly for the ladies, but Will, if you also play as a girl online, it could be for you. When you're, say, playing, I don't know, World of Warcraft or whatever you're into, and your character's female, and then you get the weird whisper, "Are you a real girl?" How do you handle it? Because I feel like I've handled it like 20 different ways and they never seem to work.
I mean, I would say, let's just follow the thread of this conversation. Like, is the net benefit going to be you guys are going to be BFFs? Probably not. Probably not if that's going to be their first impulse, or you can just lecture them, which I don't think works. I would just say probably ignore them. That's what I would do.
I was just curious if you had a funny, like...
Oh, if I had a funny comeback?
Like you get like a good one that you're like, a real girl, that's what the robot master said.
I was pre-op. I don't know.
Since you, Felicia, have played on Buffy and the Dollhouse, and you've done so many, we'll go with geek-specific and kind of subculture acting jobs, do you feel like that puts a barrier for you going out for the mainstream roles that will not have a geek following? Are you afraid that your acting options are limited, or do you just love embracing your geek so much you don't care?
Oh no, I made a decision last year. I'm too busy doing my own thing. I told my agent this year for pilot season I don't want to audition for anything that's not science fiction or fantasy. I haven't gotten any auditions this pilot season, so I don't know what that means. But yeah, as far as, you know, the half-hour stuff is really fun. But like, I feel like I'm so happy what I'm doing, you know, and the things that I want to create online. We're going to branch out and maybe do some comedy stuff, but like, my time is so limited. It's got to be something that I know that the people who like what I do will super enjoy, and not that you guys wouldn't enjoy just a straight comedy role, but I mean, part of it is like my life and the kind of roles that I want to have fun with. And the cool thing is, like for Eureka, they wrote that part for me. Emmy Berg and Jamie Pollia, the showrunner, you know, saw what I did online and created a geeky sort of science girl who can be funny and dramatic at the same time in Eureka. And I'm so blessed with that. And like having that experience and doing a role that I feel like, oh, I pick it up and it's like a gift. I don't understand why I would go out for things that I don't pick up and say, hey, this would be a gift to play. Even if I don't get it, like as an artist, you have to be very specific about what you do, because if you start betraying yourself and try to be everything to everybody and begging as an actor, that's when you just lose your compass. And it took so long to find my compass that I'm like, I want to keep my compass. So that's why, you know, I'm just a lot more selective about what I can do with my time, and I just want, you know, cool things that I can share with the people who like what I do.
All right. Well, first off, I'd just like to say that I love the Guild. I've seen every episode multiple times. It's a great thing to watch between raids and instead of doing homework. But my question is for Felicia. You come off as a pretty nice person.
This is gonna go
Careful.
But
Easy.
it's really two questions. Why are you so mean to Jace Hall? And are you like that to all your rivals?
Jace Hall, that's scripted. It's scripted. It's a little bit scripted. Although that guy's kind of a D-bag. So, I mean, he's a really tall guy, and he's like cool, and he has like, have a fancy car kind of guy. And I mean, it's really fun. We have a really good rapport, kind of like these two. Now, like seeing them interact on the stage, I'm like, wow, they need to have a scene together. So it's cool to have, you know, basically. What? What's going on? I mean, basically conflict is fun. Like when you have good conflict as a writer or an actor, it's like you know exactly where to go and you can play off each other and you can escalate it. So I don't know about rivals, but meow, I don't know. What do you want me to say? I don't know what you want me to say. No, I'm generally a really nice person. I'm kind of a pushover, so.
You're generally too nice.
I know. Will's always lecturing me about how I'm way too pushovery nice. It's true, but.
And I like it.
Was that? I feel like you said you had a two-part question.
It was two parts, Jace Hall and enemies.
All right, I just tuned out.
Eric, wake up.
Next.
Okay. Hi. I'm not a gamer at all. I've never played like a RPG game ever. But I'm a big Joss Whedon fan, and I've seen all of Buffy and all of Dollhouse, the Epitaph episodes, and of course Dr. Horrible. And because I saw you, Felicia, in all of those, I watched The Guild, and I've since seen all 4 seasons. And I have a little problem with some of the gamer lingo sometimes, but I get past that, and I just, as a non-gamer, I still love The Guild.
That's really great to hear. Thank you.
Awesome.
And also, I was wondering, I noticed in the very first episode of The Guild that when you were, where your therapist was breaking up with you, I noticed you wear a clotter ring. And I think I saw it in Dr. Horrible and maybe even the Epitaph episodes. Do you just like, you wear it all the time?
I just keep it on until wardrobe tells me to take it off.
Okay.
So if it's slipped in there, they probably should have made me try to take it off. But I'm just, my boyfriend gave it to me, and I just wear it and until they tell me to take it off, basically.
That's cool. Okay. And also, Will?
It's hard to take off. I have a big man knuckle right here.
What did that guy just bring you? Like the drink?
Listen, you guys, there's a restaurant in the convention center called Juicy Cafe, and it used to be a tiny little place called Juice It that nobody really knew about, and it was like a great secret during PAX, because you could go there and wait 5 minutes and get amazing, really healthy food and really like fresh made vegetable juice.
Are they paying you to this?
No, I just think they're amazing. And
I hate it when I get that on Twitter. By the way.
Oh, you like that thing. Someone's paying you to say you like it. You couldn't possibly genuinely like things.
Yeah. Are you getting a kickback? Were you paid to say that?
Unfollow. But anyway, it's a place called Juicy Cafe. It's on the 2nd level of this place, and it is the best food you will ever have at a convention ever in your life. And it's all super healthy, and it's got so much nutrition in it, you really only need to eat like 1 full meal, and you can eat little things during the day. So that's what it is. This is like a carrot, ginger,
So much talking about this juice.
Fart juice.
Thank you.
I had cookies for breakfast.
I have about 3 or 4 questions. So I have about 3 or 4 questions.
Let's keep it.
So,
I'll give you 1. You can do 1, because we got a bunch of people waiting.
So, will Wiggler be back as a game player?
I can't say anything about it. I'm sorry. Oh man.
All right, I'll give you 1 more, because that was super short.
Yeah, that was sad.
And how is it like being in Buffy?
It was really fun. It was my first job, and all of this potentials who were kind of everybody. It was mixed reviews. We would knit together, so we made a lot of scarves, and we became really good friends, and it was really fun. And I liked flying on a wire. And Sarah Michelle's pretty, so.
All right, let's get back over here.
What are your opinions on like fan works regarding the guild, such as fan fiction, fan comics, and fan art?
I love fan art. I have a little wall. If you look at my Flickr, I have a whole little shelf I put together of all the awards the guild has won, and then it has all my favorite fan art that people have given me. So I love it, and I love it when people send us pictures of stuff and we try to link it on all our sites. It's just like, I can't draw, so like seeing anybody make anything is like kind of exciting for me, and I love that. I've never seen any fan fiction.
Can't be unseen. Can't be unseen. Can't be unseen. Can't be unseen.
Okay.
You find them on fanfiction.net.
Can't be unseen. Can't be unseen.
I wouldn't be able to look at it as the writer. I wouldn't want any kind of like conflict of interest to do there. I'm like, I don't know what else to say. But Will is advising against it.
Will's also the one doing fan art over here at the start.
I have been, yes. I've been trying Fox's Katra. It has to bounce off the back wall, but eventually it circles around and we find out where the Star Trek and Guild Venn diagram overlaps.
Miss Day and Miss Akuta as two people who have sort of vanguarded and legitimized a new media, and Will is sort of a geek ascendant and someone who's worked in virtually every media.
I like this man. I like
Please, keep telling us how great we are.
Yeah. Where do y'all see what you're doing now morphing in, say, a year and 10 years from now? Do you see it going to feature length or full length series and things of that nature? Where do you see this evolving as someone who's kind of helped literally start the whole media movement?
I mean, the Guild is feature length. When you buy a DVD, you can watch it with no credits in between, and it's edited together like a movie. So I think that it's more a question of like, will the kind of independent content be able to have avenues to get to audiences 10 years down the line, when really TVs and movies and internet content kind of meld and like big companies come in.